Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Roberto Monaco here with Influenceology and the Car Speaking Company. And I live by a principle that goes, we don't speak to inform, we speak to transform. And that is exactly what my guest here, Dr. Ben Tapper, does. He does not speak to inform, he speaks to transform. Dr. Ben, thanks so much for being here with me today, brother. Today, right now, is like on East Coast, 11 o'clock, and I mean, this is the third interview he's doing here. He's a busy guy, so thanks so much. So blessed to have you here today.
Thanks for having me, Roberto.
We're going to have a good time today. Dr. Ben is the founder of the Wellness Point in Omaha, Nebraska. I had a chance, I didn't know your dad is a chiropractor too. I'm sure we're going to get into the conversation today. But I met Dr. Tapper back in 2016 when he came to one of our classes, Influence from the Front. And we became buddies on Facebook. And then I don't know, maybe, and we're going to get into it, a month ago or 2 months ago, this video popped up, like a 5-minute video. And I'm like, oh, Dr. Ben, so let's see what he's doing. And I clicked it. I had chills in my body. And I'm like, oh, this is good. And then all of a sudden I saw the whole chiropractic community sharing. And the video went viral. And I'm like, man, I got to know the story behind it, the impact that the video is making, the courage that took you to go and speak. So, Dr. Ben, welcome here, brother. Can you give us a little bit of a background context about what you do and the reason and how did the video expose your mission and your work a little bit? Give us a background.
Yep. So I'm just a chiropractor in Omaha, Nebraska. I'm just very passionate about getting people well. Basically, we focus on immunology, epigenetics, wellness. We try to force and teach and educate as much as we can about the wellness and prevention model as the best we can to our abilities. And we understand that we're in a crazy time around the world. And we knew this was coming our way. We saw some draconian bills being passed last year through California and other states, like bills like SB 277, SB 276. We were trying to sound the alarm that this is coming our way, and we need to defend our freedoms and our rights now before we lose them. And this whole thing was coming our way, and we saw it last year. So we had seminars last year about vaccine seminars and other things, trying to say, hey, we need to be proactive in this fight. We need to stand our ground now. We only have the rights that we're willing to defend, and we need to defend them now. We need to be proactive in this fight and speak out, get louder, and really just to sound the alarm. And so, very active in my community about doing these vaccine seminars and educating the people of why vaccines are not safe and effective, and they can pose some major harm and threats. And also just to educate people on our liberties. We need medical freedoms in the Constitution. And so that's one of the things that we're very adamant about, especially in the chiropractic realm. We need to be able to protect our profession and allow people to have the choice to come see chiropractors. And if we keep going down this path, eventually chiropractors are going to be suppressed and really face more persecution down the road.
So what happened to the video? The video that went viral, what's the story behind it?
Well, we had a mask mandate coming. Omaha was one of the last cities to enforce this mask mandate, and it's a draconian mandate. They're trying to give you a $100 citation if you didn't have a mask on in town, in public, and that to me is absolute tyranny. And it's criminal. And so I gathered the troops in my office. We had 100 people in my parking lot, and I said, we need to be proactive in this. We need to speak out. We need to contact the mayor, get all this stuff and all our ducks in a row to really fight against this. And so 2 days later, we did that. We contacted the mayor. We overwhelmed them. And then 48 hours later, they said, okay, we're not going to force the mask mandate. She passed the bill a week and a half later on the city council. They said, you vote on this. I don't want anything to do with it. I got a lot of backlash already. So I'll just pass the buck on to the city council. And so this mask mandate vote was a Tuesday morning, and they had the deck stacked in their favor. They had about 13 different docs that had unlimited amount of time to speak, and it was a clown show. It was a circus. And I'm telling you, it was terrible. All they did, in my opinion, was push propaganda, fear mongering, and the studies that they showed were elementary. The methodology of the studies were just a joke, and it was terrible. So I had to sit there for 2 hours. I was told I was able to speak at 2 o'clock, and I didn't get to speak till after 4 p.m. And so that was kind of frustrating in itself. And I just had this energy, this emotion, this constantly building inside of me, and just like, I got to do something. I got to speak the truth. And when I went up there, I just prayed, God, turn me into a lion. And that's what I prayed. And it just, all this passion just came out, man. And honestly, I was either on the brink of crying or just on the other side. I was like, I'm just going to roar.
No, that was so powerful. I had chills. At one point, the guy in the video, guys, slow down, calm down a little bit.
Right, man. I think God answered that prayer and he turned me into a lion that day. So, yeah. I told my mom's like, gosh, you were so angry in that video. I was like, Mom, I wasn't angry. I was passionate. All right. I was passionate. I was just speaking from a place of love and conviction and passion. And you just don't understand the situation I was in. You couldn't even clap. You couldn't do anything. You couldn't make a sound. The sheriff would literally escort you out. There was a 6-year-old girl that spoke. And I was so proud of her. She's actually a patient of mine. I was so proud of her. I was like clapping super loud, trying to get other people to clap. There's another lady that clapped, and the sheriff like stood up and looked around the room and actually escorted the other lady out and not me. And so I was very thankful I didn't get kicked out of there. But
so what are some of the stats? Because I think this is important, because a lot of chiros and other health professionals, sometimes they want to speak the truth, but like, oh, my opinion doesn't matter. Right. Why bother? Nobody's going to watch. What has been, you're sharing some crazy statistics about your video. Can you share a little bit about who, and I know you're a very humble guy, but feel free to just share what happens and who share the statistics, how many people have seen it. I think it's just to prove the point of when someone step into the truth and speak the truth.
Absolutely, man. Well, BJ Palmer, the guy right behind me here, he stated that you never know how far reaching something you may think, say, or do today will affect the lives of millions tomorrow. And I am living proof of that. I'm just a little BH Tapper at yahoo.com here, just a small little chiropractor in Omaha, Nebraska. And I would just happen to speak my mind and my heart and my passions. And that video went global. And honestly, after I spoke, I didn't sleep for 5 nights, because when I shared it on my Facebook page, I want to rewind. My wife and I joked, because I would say, hey, something went viral. I got 4 shares. And she was so honestly, I got to the office that Tuesday afternoon. I uploaded it to my Facebook page. I didn't look at it till after dinner. I was putting my kids to bed, and then bam, I had like 275 shares. I'm like, oh my God. I did an interview with Dr. Ron Paul back in the day, and I think it had 80 shares at the most, or 100 shares. I'm like, wow, that was awesome. But this had 275 shares. It was the most viral thing I had. And that was with like in an hour and a half of me posting it. Well, I went to bed that night just tossing and turning. I couldn't sleep. I was just like, what did I do? I got up that next morning, and it had 600 shares just on my side. And then by lunchtime, it had, I think, 1,000 shares. And then Pete Evans from Australia shared it. And it just went crazy. I had these messages, friend request, and it's crazy because my friend request, it was just like you can scroll and just keeps going and just keeps going and keeps going. Instagram, and I had to create a whole separate Instagram, because I wanted these people. I just want to funnel them in, because my Instagram is just more personal. I didn't want just people I don't know following me there. But then TikTok, I'm not even on TikTok, but it had within the first 24 hours on TikTok, it had over it was 1.5 million views the first 24 hours.
That's amazing.
Right. And so it's gone global. I've got people from Croatia, Kenya, Nicaragua, all over the world. People from Costa Rica saying, Puta Vida, and they keep saying, like, we need your voice. We need more doctors like you to stand up. And I'm telling you, I know that majority of the people watching are chiropractors, and we need chiropractors. This is our time. The time is now. And I said that in my speech. Benjamin Rush stated that there will be a time when medicine forms into an undercover dictatorship, restricting the art of healing to one class of men. And the time is now. People are starving for our message. We need to speak truth. And the time is now. And so many chiros, so many colleagues are afraid to speak out, to speak their truth. They're afraid that they're going to lose business. I can't tell you how many chiropractors say, well, I chose to wear a mask because I'm making an executive business decision. And I'm telling you what, my office is busier now than ever before, not just because I did that talk. We hit records prior to that talk. And I've been speaking out against this nonsense since day one. We need to stand our ground and realize that the shift is happening. The paradigm shift is now, and we need to speak truth. Chiropractors, this is our time to take the reins and give the people not a message of chiropractic, but a chiropractic message that we are a light in the darkness. We can give patients hope and let them know that your body's ability is fully capable and equipped to handling respiratory viruses like corona. In fact, it's more capable of healing than anyone has ever permitted you to believe, including Dr. Fauci, or not even Dr. Bill Gates. He's not even a doctor. Bill Gates, you know what I mean?
Oh man, I love the passion, the certainty you have. So what happened to your office? So the patients, because a lot of chiros, they don't wanna speak because they're afraid to lose patients. So let's talk about that. What when your patients come to your office, what is their psychology? What kind of questions they have? Why they're coming? What is the psychology of the patients who are coming now?
Right. So, when this all started, we did take a 30% hit. I mean, when it first happened, we lost about 30% of our patients. And I told my staff, I said, we're heading into rough waters. Smooth seas never made for skillful sailors, and we need to stand our ground. We need to be able, I said to them, we're going to be a light in the darkness. And I said, we're not going to wear a mask. We're going to speak our truth. This is our time to educate patients and let them know where we stand. And we are a tribal leader. I view my patients, my patient base, I'm their tribal leader. They look to me as their primary care physician. I am their health care practitioner. And so what would it say for me to wear a mask and say that I'm fearful of this? And say, it's not a good leader. I'm abandoning my beliefs. In order for me to wear a mask, I would have to abandon everything I stand on, everything I believe in about the body to be true. And my patients, some of them, they're still not coming in because they're fearful. But we have weeded our garden with this thing. It's like cleansing my practice. And has brought us so many people that are like-minded. My tribe has it's been condensed, but it's reformed and it's growing rapidly. Because we are speaking our truth. We are standing our ground. Our message is resonating with the public that get our message, and they're coming into us because they understand what we are saying. They believe in what we're saying, and they want what we have to offer.
I love that. Why? Because you see patients, every day. Why we're so sick? Why is the average American so sick?
Right. Well, number one, we're so sick because we're operating in the wrong paradigm. The sickness and disease paradigm has been monopolized. The people are so indoctrinated. We have 80 drug commercials of every hour.
How many?
80 drug commercials of every hour of every day in this country. Wow. And we are so indoctrinated thinking that medicine is going to give us true health and wellness. Drugs and surgery serve a great purpose. It can be life-saving. It's crisis care. But they need to understand that we have two models to operate in. And chiropractic is the wellness and prevention model. We need to understand that. We are doctors of prevention. And in my opinion, Benjamin Franklin, he said that an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. We need to understand the value that we have to offer. We are the true doctors of the future, and the time is now. And so we're sick because we're operating in the sickness and disease model, and we need to have that paradigm shift into the wellness and prevention model. Where
do you feel the chiropractic role in this pandemic? What is our role? I'm not a chiropractor, but what is I feel like in my heart I'm a chiropractor, but where's the chiropractor? Because there's a lot of doctors out there that might be like, oh, Dr. Tapper is special. He has the courage. He's a gifted speaker. He is this, he's that. I'm not that. So a lot of chiros, they don't have the certainty, the confidence to go and speak up and do the things you're doing. So where do we fit in?
That's the thing. I think it's a great question. I think that a lot of chiros don't have the confidence or the certainty in what they do. And that's something that I can't give them, but I can encourage them. Chiropractors, we need to understand what we have to offer. Again, it's not a message of chiropractic, but chiropractors understand the message that we have an innate intelligence inside the body that is self-healing, self-regulating. As long as we move that obstruction to healing, thus facilitating it, the body can be well. We need to understand that. That alone is going to give someone a glimpse of hope. I don't care how small your practice is. I don't care if you see one patient a week. I don't care if you're not even practicing anymore. If you understand that message that your body is self-healing, self-regulating, if we give the body what it needs, it can be well. Just that message is planting seeds with the patient, with someone. You never know how far reaching something you may think, say, or do will affect the lives of millions tomorrow. So as long as we just encourage others, be that light in the darkness. And our role as chiropractors, this is the message that we've been saying and shouting for years, over 100 years, and the time is now. In fact, this article right here is written by B.J. Palmer over 100 years ago. It's about the Spanish flu. And if you were to read that article, you would think it was written in today's time. It is absolutely insane. And it talks about, I mean, just the parallels to what BJ was saying back then is unreal. So
I love that. So what did you learn throughout this experience of recording a video, step into the power, having a viral video? Because very few people have experience, of record a video and have millions of views. So what has been, what did you learn through the whole process?
It was just, it was a whirlwind of the past few weeks here when I released the video. But I'd like to say I'm just a small chiro here, okay, that's very passionate about people, about getting people well. I'm very passionate about chiropractic and true health. And I just like I said, I'm just a small chiro, and that video went global. And if I can do something like that, anybody can. And I'm telling you, our time, like I said, I'm going to say this over. I'm going to be a broken record.
I love it.
The time is now. Chiros, we need to stand up. We need to get louder. We need to unify our message. And the time is now.
I love that, brother. So if anybody is, I put a link for your website here, thewellnesspoint.com. If people other chiros want to reach out to you, what is the best way to connect with you?
You can find me on Instagram, Dr. Ben Tapper. Actually, doctor, it's dot after the doctor, Dr. Ben Tapper on Instagram. You can message me on Facebook, Ben Tapper on Facebook. That's some of the best ways to contact me there. So
in this era, one more thing. So I have one more question here, but I want to be respectful of your time here. A lot of chiros. So we have we work with a lot of chiros. Some of them are doing really well. Some of them are struggling. I've seen it all. For the docs who are struggling here and they want to get going, what would you recommend them to do?
Well, Roberto, I'm going to tell you, man, I can't say this enough. I'm going to rewind. When I got into practice, I had to do a public talk at a bank, and I was working for another chiropractor, and he was a good friend of mine, and they plugged me into the bank, and I was so nervous. I did not want to speak. I hated the thought of going into this bank and speaking. And if anybody's ever done a lot of talks, you'll understand that banks are very dry. They're a difficult audience. You're in a weird setting. It's not the most ideal scenario for a public or health talk. And I went in there and I was supposed to do a 30-minute health talk. I did it in 3 minutes. And I got out of there going, I'm never doing that garbage again. Okay. And 3 minutes, I was like in and out. The people were going, what the heck's wrong with this guy? They're looking at me going, this guy's highly caffeinated. I probably talked at 90 miles an hour. I was so nervous. It was miserable, man, miserable. And so my dad told me he practiced for 43 years. He said, Ben, the most successful chiropractors are the ones who speak. He's like, if you want to be successful, you got to speak. You've got to learn how to speak. So like, so I practiced, and I did probably 100 or so health talks around town, but I just didn't feel like this was it just wasn't really flowing as well as I should. It was producing patients. Yes. It was getting people in the door. It was effective, but it wasn't to the caliber that I really wanted. And another good friend of mine, he said, man, we got to go check out Roberto Monaco. I didn't know who you were at the time. So we went out to San Diego. It was my first time to California. And we did your seminar.
Yeah, I remember. 2016.
Yeah. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm doing this all wrong. And I really, the biggest thing I took away from your talk, I mean, I learned so much. There was so much value there. And I learned a lot of effective things. But one of the biggest things was, the story side of things.
Yeah.
You got to have a story. And I'm like, genius. And I remember the first talk I did outside of that, we had I think I had 37 people in the audience. We made 19 appointments after my first.
So that's amazing.
And that was that was a record. And actually, honestly, that's still my record. I was like on cloud nine speaking. I'm like, oh my gosh. I mean, our average like maybe 3 to 4 patients per health talk, and then we did this one. It was like 19. I was like, oh, it like overwhelmed my schedule. And so, I have a lot to attribute to you and your.
I appreciate that, brother. Thank you so much.
So Chiro's is true. The most successful docs are the ones speaking, the ones that are speaking truth and speaking from the heart and passion. And what you offer, Roberto, is the tool set to be able to do that. And so I really look up to you, my friend, and I think that other Chiros need to take what you have to offer.
And I appreciate you very much. The plug. Thanks so much. So proud of you, brother. I share your video. Share again. You literally. I saw friends on Instagram. I think they download your video, upload it.
Right. It's going crazy. People are uploading it all over. It's crazy, and it's just like I'm waiting for it to end. It just like it comes in waves. It goes up and down, up and down, up and down, and it's interesting to see how the video is just traveling throughout the world. I get messages from all these people from all over the world, and it's just the craziest thing. But there has been some negative, of course. But it's like when you're speaking truth in these times, it is a revolutionary act, my friend. And at the time, like I said, it's in truth is treason in an empire of lies, and we need to understand that if we're going to speak truth and stand our ground, we're going to expect some persecution. But for every negative, I have like 1,000 positive. So what do we learn from that? We don't let the negative few ruin the positive many. There's so
nice. I have chills right now, buddy. You got goosebumps. I love that. Dr. Ben Tapper, thanks so much, brother. Much love, respect to you for your mission, for your practice. I didn't know you're a guitar player too. Maybe next time you do play a little song for me, bro.
Dude, that's my therapy, brother. That's my therapy.
I saw. I was reading your bio. That's cool. Much love to your wife and 4 kids, brother. Much love. Talk soon. Thanks so much.
All right. God bless, Roberto. Thank you.
Bye-bye.